Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to another episode of our channel.
Hi.
Today, we would be speaking to the brain behind the channel, Mr. Chidinma Vincent. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to have you on set.
Thank you.
So, before we go into the detailed questions, I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about yourself, your background, and
Yeah.
we know something about you.
As you all know, my name is Mabuke Chidema,
Okay.
and I'm someone who I would say I consider myself a very resilient and result driven individual. So, and I've had this as a passion. It's been something that has been inborn, like it has been burning inside of me to go into like media. And I've been trying to do this for the last 2 years. To be honest with you, I would say that it has an excuse for what to say, oh, I don't have a camera, I don't have a mic, I don't have this, I don't have that. But this year is very significant for me because I'm clocking a certain age. I'll be 28 this year, and I've told myself that there's certain things I'm going to think of, tick off my diary, and one of which is trying to go into this. I have a couple of things I'm working on behind the scene, and one of them is this podcast. And I'm tailoring this podcast, a couple of these episodes first, to a lot of people who are being in my DM that are really, really talking about relocation, who they want to know if it's still ID to relocate.
Yes.
And I have a whole lot of thought process. I have a lot of things I've read a couple of books. I have some of my ideas, and I feel like I just want to use this as a platform to share my ideas and share my thought process with like-minded individual. For me, I don't that's just it, and I think that's why I really really started the channel. To be honest with you, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good one. You've even answered a question which I wanted to ask. What made you feel that now was the best time to start the channel? But likely you've given a good response to that already, even without me asking.
Yeah.
But I have a question. So, what made you relocate to the UK? Because you said in your last response that you've got a lot of people in your DMs
Yeah.
asking you questions about relocation,
Yeah.
and then you're trying to combine your responding to them
Yeah.
with this your dream of being a media person.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's like killing two birds with
Yeah.
one stone. What made you relocate to the UK? Why this country specifically?
When I was growing up,
Yes.
I had a very, a lot of things happen in my background in my
Yes.
growing up. So, and because of that, I lost my parents, and I had to stay with my maternal family.
Yeah.
And by virtue of that, I grew up in a house where in Benin City, and in Benin, it was like in every household as at that time, if you don't come from, if you don't have there has to be a signature of one person being abroad. So I
Yes.
grew up in an environment in Benin City whereby, in fact, someone has to be abroad in the house. So I knew a lot of people abroad, and it just sort of like I felt it was I wanted to travel but I didn't know how growing up because I would see most of um my mom I stayed with now, she had a, f- a brother-in-laws. They come
Yes.
in, and I'll be like, God, when am I going to travel? I just didn't know how it was possible to travel. So then I grew up in that environment, and I know I needed and I wanted more for my life. You understand?
Yes.
I was able to not follow the norm. I was able to take my book seriously. I was able to, I mean, that's a whole lot of story for another day, but I was able to leave that environment and get into uni. So all through my life, I'd always knew that there was something more behind the borders of Nigeria. Why? Because as someone who is very inquisitive, I usually read a lot.
Yeah.
So I spend time reading, I watch videos, I listen to thought leaders and motivational speakers. I just knew there was something more that my human soul needed to experience and my spirit needed to experience.
Yes.
And so I had to now get to a point that I was like, okay, all through that time, as I began to do business, as I began to try and strive to make money, all was the goal was that I'd had this mind that I wanted to travel and I wanted to have a second passport and I want to give that to my children. So that's what really, spiral
Motivated you.
motivated me,
Yes.
and every little step I've been taking for the last 10 years of my life
Has
has
been
been
geared towards
geared
achieving
towards
this.
achieving
Yes.
this idea of relocating,
Yeah.
and for me, it's all about knowing that I don't want to live my life and think like, oh, I did not experience this. When I got to the US early this year, I was like, God, I said it in pidgin. I was like, can I sort of just live this life?
Yeah.
I not
Without
even without
experiencing the
experiencing
like
this.
the
You
kind of
understand?
things you
You
saw
understand?
there. Yeah.
Sometimes, and the idea of about traveling, some people don't understand is that traveling is about mindset. It's
Yes.
about wealth creation. It's the same thing as wealth creation and money making. It's all about the mind. Most people have so much in Nigeria. Most people have a lot of money and they've not even left the borders of even their states. Some people have not left the borders. So I know people who are in Delta State and they've not been to Lagos,
Which is just a few
which is just
hours
a few
away
hours away.
from,
So
yeah.
for me, it's all about, I know I wanted to make a change in my life. I know I wanted to make a change in my generation. And I knew that one of those approach was to relocate. And one of those approach was to try and experience the world from another point of view. And I think that was why I really relocated, because before I came into the UK, I was pretty doing well, you understand, for
Yes.
myself. I was running a couple of businesses. Things were really going pretty much fine. So I didn't relocate from the fact that
An
survivor,
economic point
yeah,
of view.
it was
Yeah.
not an economic point of
Yeah.
view. I
Survivor.
relocated because I knew I wanted more. I didn't want to be a local champion. I didn't want to be a one-eye king among the midst of blind people. I
Yes.
want to come to a place where I have people who had superior knowledge and superior intelligence. I want to collaborate with these kind of people. I wanted to be in rooms where, at a very high level, I was not the smartest person there. I wanted to be at that place where I could learn from people. You understand?
Yes.
So I just felt like I had grown my environment and I needed more from life, and that's one of the reason. And coupled with another issue with the quite insecurity in Nigeria was one of the few things that also prompted my relocation. So I guess that's the very, very good reason.
Okay, your response has been a very interesting one, and been able to pick out a few things from it. Moving over to the UK has been a long-term project for you, a
Yeah,
childhood dream, and it's about for you fulfilling destiny,
yeah,
fulfilling purpose. You feel you have a purpose and a destiny which you would like to fulfill, and you believe that leaving the shores of
Nigeria
Nigeria.
was.
Yes. Okay, so that is in line with my next question. How has your experience been so far? All your dreams and pursuits, all those things that made you leave Nigeria, because basically you did not leave Nigeria as an economic migrant. It wasn't really out of
Yeah.
economic pressure. Yes, you had a greater reason for coming here. How has your experience been here so far in terms of fulfilling the things that brought you here, and generally, how would you say your experience has been like?
To be honest with you, I'll tell you the truth that it was a shocker for me.
Yes.
I had
Ah, it's always
it's
like
a
that for
shocker. Yeah, I
me.
had friends who had relocated prior. I said that to one of the other guys I was speaking to today.
Yeah.
I had friends who had relocated before me, classmates, and they come back. They got back. They came back to Nigeria. So stuff, and this
They
was
couldn't make
they
it
couldn't
here.
make it. So when I told many people I was coming to the UK, I had arrived. Many of my close pals didn't even say congratulations, not because they didn't want, because they knew that the place was tough. And when I got here, I really knew it was tough. But I'm not the kind of person.
That gets easily put off by
No,
difficult
yeah, yeah,
situations.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And this country really helped me build my resilience and
Yeah.
my discipline. That's one of the few things I've really learned. And one of them was like I'd had realized realistically that one, I had to shed weight. And part of my relocation was being able to be fit. If people know me in Nigeria, they know I used to be a very fat person. But now, for me, one of my experiences coming to a certain reality, I guess I didn't really know the impact of what it means to live a third world country to a first world country.
Yes.
There's so much exponential change
Of course,
you have to
yeah.
experience,
Yeah,
and
cultural changes
cultural
all
change,
around.
cultural
Yes,
shift,
yes, yes, yes.
and it was really, really like a lot for me to absorb. And then having to, many people in Nigeria, like myself, did not work corporate. Many of us did not even have the right information. I was not properly equipped when I came in, and I would address the fact. And the coming to the UK coincided with the crypto crash. I lost a lot of money. I lost over 100K,
In Naira.
$100,000. The money,
Dude, wow.
well, so as at the time we lost a lot of money. People can, so that was like a coinciding, because when I came in, like I said, I didn't
What
come.
year was that?
That was around 2022.
That's crazy.
You understand?
Okay,
So
yeah.
that didn't come with. It didn't come with. Like I said, I didn't relocate from a hungry man point of view. I was really doing really fine. You understand?
Yeah.
And so, but that on this side, you get to a point in the realities of the country. I'd had to know that, oh, the money is gone. So many friends, you lose so many friends, you lose relationship, you lose so many things, and then you having to start all over. Having to tell yourself that it doesn't matter what has happened. God's plan is always is the best for me. And I had to build myself and pick myself. I have to learn things I've not learned. Like I said earlier, many people who are relocating to the UK, because in Nigeria, we go to uni, see doctors, and people are doctors at the same time they are doing businesses. So an average person, even when you go to school, you are wired to be entrepreneurial. So many people don't understand that if you are not within the healthcare field, like nurses, doctors, who even if they are trying to be entrepreneurial, if they come to the Western world, they can easily use their education to make money, because they studied a very high profile course. People like us that did chemistry, that were doing business back in Nigeria, you come back here, there's a different reality to that, because your business you are doing is not really so relevant now. You now have to now pick up skills, because to be relevant in this country, you have to be good at what you are doing.
Yes.
So then having to now learn the things you've not learned before, having to learn how to do interviews, having to run your CV, make job application, and having to build that resilience was something I learned, and I learned it the hard way. And having to be disciplined and dedicate your mind to something and tell yourself, oh, this thing I've done it, I'm going to do it so much. And I guess that's what I'm grateful for in this country, the spirit of resilience. And in my journey and sojourn across place I've been to, I think resilience and discipline. So for me, it has not been an easy journey. There are times I've cried. There are times I've told myself, you know what, I want to go back home. There are times I've been very overwhelmed. Why? Because I was reasonably living better. You
In
understand? I
Nigeria
was living
before
well
compared
better.
to what?
Yeah, you understand? I was
Yes,
living
I
well
can
better. You
imagine.
understand? I didn't, at a certain time when I was relocating, I didn't know what was lack. You understand? At a very high level, I didn't know what was lack. I felt at that time in my life, you know what? I think I've made all the money I think I needed to make, because you get to a certain point in life. If you've had over 300, if let's say you have over um, um, let's say you have over 100 million, over 60 million. I was not someone that was living extravagantly. All I needed to do was to eat.
And you had an okay life.
I had an okay life. So at that level, you know, there is there's a feeling of locality. There's an expression of locality. Locality is like when I said, you are doing well, you are feeling okay, you have a couple of lands,
Yes.
you have a couple of house, you understand? But at my inner being,
You were still uncertified.
I knew that there was something more.
Missing.
You understand? I knew there was not missing per se. I knew that I could demand more for myself. So there was nothing at that time. I was okay, but I knew that I could demand more for myself. You understand? So I guess in the spirit of demanding more was why I chose to relocate. You understand? And I guess that's just really why. We could go on and talk about a lot of things today, but I would want to make this first episode
A
really
shorter
short,
one.
a shorter one. But
Yeah. It's been a pleasure, Vincent. It's been a pleasure with you on this episode. And yes, I'll gladly say from your responses so far, you've done well for yourself. Your being here has been able to improve you in terms of resilience and discipline as a
Yeah,
human being. Yeah, strengthen you. So yes, I would say to an extent you've achieved some of
yeah,
your dreams.
yeah,
Yeah, and I believe many of our listeners today would have learned one or two
yeah,
things from you to know that
yeah.
even when you go
Go
down,
down.
it's not the end
It's
of
not
the
the end of the
world.
world. And there's
Yes.
one thing I'm
Yeah.
saying to someone now. There's someone who might be watching this video right now, and you're in a state of your life that you're telling yourself, "Oh, I mean, and I don't come from a rich family. I don't see help around me. I don't know if it's possible if I'll ever relocate. I'm in that state in my life where you are in that state that you're confused. You don't even know what to do. You don't even know the right skill to pick up. I'm telling you something, and I'm not trying to be too spiritual, but Hebrews says, the book of Hebrews, I think is Hebrews chapter 4, if you're going towards the end, and it says, we do not have a high priest who cannot be touched by the feelings of our infirmities.
Yeah.
And, God is gracious enough, to help us. He says, I think Psalm 32, verse 8 says, he said, I will lead you and direct you in the way to go, and with my own eyes will I direct you. The Lord will always, at every time in your life, I'd come to realize that the Lord sees and the Lord knows.
Knows.
You understand?
Yes.
So, whilst you must have done everything you feel you can do, I think you should spend time to tell the Lord to open your eyes to see His divine will for your life and His divine plan. And it's something I got to realize of recent. That's why this age means a lot to me, because I'm beginning to understand God's timing. I'm beginning to understand God's plan
For your
and
life.
for my life. I'm beginning to understand walking in the will of God and walking in the will of what you are called to do. So when you begin to understand that, you live the rat race of life. There's a rat race of life. There's a hustle. So because I realized that as humans, we are not supposed to hustle. We are supposed to position ourselves. We are supposed to skill up, and we are supposed to be at the best at what we do. So I feel that wherever you are right now, wherever you are watching this video, keep doing what you are doing. Keep, putting in that effort. I would say something, and I say it every day. You don't want to look back 4 years from now, 2 years from now, and tell yourself that I wish I could have done better. I wished I could have put in more effort. And this was what kept me going in the UK. The times I knew people that got jobs, I knew people that hit some certain peaks. And I knew it was possible. I knew that if this person can get it, I can get it. And it was not a competition, it was a case of resilience.
Yeah.
If this person can do this thing, I can do it. And then you see skilled professionals who spend time, putting this CV, putting this application. I find it difficult nailing a job. I'm like, Chidima, just keep pushing, just keep pushing, just keep pushing. All you need is a yes, and it's going to get better. You understand? And I can tell you that from the last 3 years, this month makes it 3 years I'm here in the UK, it has never been a better yesterday. You understand? It's never going to be a better yesterday. Wherever you are right now watching this video, whatever state you are, I'm telling you, that 5 years from now, 2 years down the line, if you put in so much effort, you will look back and be grateful for the effort you've put. Choose your friends wisely, choose your cycle wisely. Your future is bright. You will get there. Thank you, George.
Yeah, my
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
And viewers, see you on our next episode.
Fail not to try to like and follow me across all my social media platform, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. See you in my next video.
See you in our next episode.